We're live. We have plenty to discuss from this past weekend, but I'll wait till a few more people decide to join before jumping into all of the things that took place. So, today we're going to be finishing up Cody's Timcast Martinsville truck here. How's the audio? Everything sound good? Any issues? Is my face too close to the microphone, too far away? Hopefully we're good. Still got to work on this whole streaming setup thing. But I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Enjoyed some racing. Overall, the racing this weekend was pretty solid. Pretty solid. I don't know where all of you guys are located, but the weather up here was pretty nice. So we're able to have a good long weekend. And then, I got to work on some projects. So today we're finishing up the 2 truck. Cody, he had a race at Charlotte along with many others. And for some reason it didn't go well for the 2 team. Not entirely sure what the issue was. One thing I did want to address from the last stream that we did together was the taillight decals were cracking when applying them, and I touched them up a little bit and you can hardly tell. If you're not looking for it, you wouldn't even notice. So, hey Murph, glad to see ya. Been trying to catch your streams on and off, but I've been busy. Hopefully had a good weekend. And what'd you think of the races? I'm sure you probably talked about them on your streams. I think you had one yesterday, maybe. But yeah, a lot of good racing this weekend. I think the Cup Series race was the best. The Prime coverage was really good. I was very impressed with how they covered the race and the pre-race. I didn't really watch a ton of the pre-race, but I watched pretty much all of the post-race. Part of it had to do with the fact that the Melon Man won. Monaco 4 out of 10, Indy 5 points. Yeah, I say that's pretty solid. I was disappointed. I don't really care too much about F1. I used to a ton when the Speed Channel was a thing, if you remember all the way back then to those days, but I don't really watch or care too much for Formula 1, but I was pretty disappointed in Indy. It just seemed like a strange day. There were so many weird things that happened. It wasn't even lap 1. It was before they took the green. There was a crash. Then 2 laps in, there was a crash. Well, that was all after the rain delay, where there was a little bit of a rain delay. And we thought, oh, here we go again. And then Larson crashing out. Somebody caught on fire on pit road. Another guy slid through his pit box and hit some pit crew members. I mean, it was a wacky race. And then, of course, Larson crashed, so my interest dwindled relatively quickly at that point. And the end of the race was weird too, because you had the 2 leaders coming down to 5 to go, 4 to go, 3 to go, and they had lap traffic in front of both of them, and that was just dirty air. And yeah, the racing was entertaining. That's 100% true. There was shenanigans plentiful. But yeah, the overall racing, it just didn't seem great. In the finish, there wasn't too much excitement in it. It's probably just a Fox thing, because I'm pretty sure every year it was on NBC. I thought. Could be wrong. And then it gets the Fox curse, the treatment. But yeah, Indy was pretty disappointing. The Cup race on Sunday, I watched the entire thing, and I told my wife as we were watching it, I said, something is going to go wrong for the 24. Because whenever Gordon would used to race, and he would have a race where he would just dominate and lead pretty much everything, something would always go wrong. And it wasn't that anything huge necessarily went wrong. I was very pleased that there was a long green flag run that went to the end. But it was just that strange. Well, first of all, the 22 didn't do the 24 any favors. So that's like the umpteenth time that the 22 has cost the 24 a win. But I would put more of costing the 24 a win on the 45 basically wrecking out of turn 2. In credit to NASCAR, it's not very consistent, but they didn't throw the caution to spice up the excitement. In previous years, previous races, that's definitely a caution. So I don't really know anymore what constitutes a yellow and what doesn't. But yeah, I was very surprised when they didn't throw that for the 45 and allowed the race to continue. And I think it was at that point that really cooked Byron. He had to slow and give up a bunch of time, which allowed Ross to catch him. But I did say that once Ross got around Hamlin, now granted Hamlin did have to pit, he was probably going to win the race. He had the fastest car. So I called him the agent of chaos as he was closing in on Hamlin. And he ended up winning. And I like Ross. I like Byron, so it was like my worst nightmare to have them two going for the win. But overall, I was pretty happy with the outcome. I hated it for the 24. They led so many laps. And the back and forth between him and Hamlin for pretty much the whole race. I was also hoping Hocevar would get a shot, and that didn't happen with the engine expiring. So yeah, I was a little disappointing about that, but overall the racing was pretty good. I mean, Byron won on Saturday for the Xfinity race, which that race was also pretty crazy. I think he had a speeding penalty on pit road. Then he also went a lap down on one of the pit cycles. So he had to pretty much drive his way back through traffic twice, pretty much. Now he did have fresher tires at the end, so I expected him to be the car to beat there, with the guys in front of him staying out. But he still had to work for it. I think if that last caution doesn't come out with that last restart, he still probably gets around the 88 and the 7 to win. But yeah, it was a really good drive by him on Saturday. I still don't know how I feel about Cup drivers going down to the Xfinity Series. Again, growing up as a Jeff Gordon fan, he never did that. He never went down to the trucks. He never went down to Xfinity. He did start a Busch Series team with Ray Evernham. I think it started in 99, but I want to say it only lasted until 2000. I think it was only 99 and 2000. Then Ray left the team. That thing kind of just dissolved. But in those 2 years, I'm pretty sure Gordon had 5 wins in the Busch Series, what was then called the Busch Series. So yeah, I've never been one to like when drivers go down into the lower series. I don't like Cup guys running in Xfinity now that it's a whole winning. Yeah, and that's a product of the point system. True. Because I want to say, who was in the 48? Is it Nick Sanchez that's in the 48? He was looking pretty good too, because he had new tires for that final run as well. So, like you said, winning you're in, that could have been his one shot to win and make his way into the playoffs. Granted, I just hate the playoff system as a whole, but yeah, exactly to your point. And I don't... Yeah, well, Justin Allgaier's already won at least once this year, right? Or has it been more than once? And then Zilich, I think, also won. I think he might have won at Coda. I don't really pay attention as much as I used to, but I've been trying to keep up a little bit every week, now that I know a few people in the industry. Speaking of knowing somebody in the industry, Mr. Cody Camelot here did not have that good of a race on Friday night, and it seemed like it was all the Rayum team trucks. I don't know if something went wrong for all of them or if there was something going on, but yeah, it was pretty disappointing. Again, Frankie Muniz, we've talked about this a couple times on here, like he just can't catch a break, and it seemed like something was up with the trucks. I was pretty disappointed that Ross didn't win Friday. I was very much hoping that he was going to take home the checkered, but it was not meant to be. So Sunday it was. He ended up winning Sunday, which was the bigger race. I liked how he kept calling it the World 600. Like, yeah, the World 600. So it hasn't been that for a long time. So it was just funny. I have yet to pre-order the diecast. I said I was gonna start cutting back on cars, but I think I am gonna get it. I will be getting Byron's Xfinity win as well. I saw that one's up for pre-order. $80. $80 for a plastic chassis Xfinity car. It's painful. So I don't know what the future for American diecast are, but yeah, $80 for a plastic chassis ARC for the Xfinity is absurd. I mean, heck, the Cup Series ARC cars from like 10 years ago were $65, and they had tons more detail. But I am no financial wizard for Lionel Racing, so they'll have to figure that out. They kind of made some bad decisions with the whole tariff situation and kind of jumping the gun on that, and I don't know, it was just a whole strange thing, but whatever, we'll let them figure that out. But I do intend on ordering Byron's car from Saturday, the Xfinity car, as well as Ross's car from Sunday. So those will be added to the collection once they come in. I only have 2 cars on pre-order, Byron's Daytona 500 car and Ross's Kansas win from last year. So when those puppies come in, I'll do a video. I still haven't done a video on Ross's what was it, Darlington truck win from last year, I think it was. So I'll get to that once the Kansas car comes in, but hopefully you guys did you guys see the D'Agostini video that went out on Sunday? That was kind of a surprise video. I don't really have a schedule for that one. It's one of those things where it's a lot of editing, and I'm not very good at it, both voice editing and video editing. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. I just record it from 2 different angles. I'm sure you guys noticed from the videos. And so it's just a lot of time to go scrub through all that and cut out what I don't need and add transitions and audio and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to get better at it. But those videos take me a good long while to work on. Hey, you can see my phone case. So yeah, that I do have the next package. It did come in the mail, so I do have that. I just have to find time to film it. So that'll probably happen later this week, and then I'll try to get the video out-ish in the near future. On YouTube, there's only one other guy that I see. How fixing the tail. Oh, I talked about that earlier, but I can show you. Scaly one, hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for joining. Looks pretty good. Did a little bit of touch up. If you weren't really looking for it, I don't know if you'd be able to tell. I think it turned out okay. So I think the owner of this car will be pretty pleased with it. And if they never see this video or they never see these live streams that we've been working on it, they'll never know. Because I think it turned out pretty good. So yeah, thanks for asking. Hope you're doing well. Glad to see you here. We're just gonna finish this car up, or well, this truck up for Cody, and it's probably gonna be a relatively short stream. I mean, this is all I have to put on the truck. It's not too time intensive, but just adding a second layer over some of the white decals to give it a more opaque look, and then just finalizing a few other decals that we need to add to it. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what was up with the Rayum team this weekend, but it didn't seem like any of their team trucks had the speed. Hand-eye is not good. Thanks. Yeah, well, I haven't, this isn't the first time I've done this. I've been working on these things since about 2011. I started with 164s, the smaller cars, and have been working on these ever since. So, a lot of practice. Probably, what is it? They say if you have over 10,000 hours in something, you've mastered whatever craft. I don't know if I don't know if I could quantify 10,000 hours of working on these things, but it's probably close to that, I would guess. And you gotta have a lot of patience. Like I've said before, if it weren't for live streaming and interacting with you guys and hanging out and talking, I mean, I would just be listening to music or watching podcasts or videos or live streams of other people. So it's kind of neat that I get to share this experience with you guys and just kind of hang out and, I don't know, shoot the breeze. It's pretty much what live streaming is. I mean, this is just a hobby. Most things people live stream are hobbies, whether it's gaming or, well, I guess like commentaries and stuff, but people do movie reviews, people do game reviews, people build different things. So that's pretty much all it is just showing the world your hobbies. Of course, this one's for somebody, so this is for, I keep forgetting the name. It's not for Sean. Sean gets the ARCA car. I think Donna might have bought this. She's been a pretty big supporter of Cody. So yeah, I did finalize the box design for both 124s. I can show you guys that here in a second if you're interested. I'm trying something different out for the boxes. Before this iteration or this attempt, I would just print a sticker and then put it over the current box. So this time I'm going to try printing the entire box on a thicker, kind of like a cardstock, so to speak, and then folding it together and gluing it together. Now, I don't quite have the giant printer capabilities that Lionel has. I mean, I suppose I could take it to like Walmart or something. You know what, this one might be for the other side. Let's see. But I think overall it should go pretty well. Let's see. And I did finish designing the decals for Cody's Talladega ARCA car today. So that was pretty cool. That one it's actually a pretty simple paint scheme, finally, for once. It's just an all-white car with the main sponsor logos and numbers and stuff on it. So there's really no design to it, which for me, I love because it's much easier to work on. But it wasn't as flashy on the track, you know, it didn't catch everybody's eye. But yeah, I already did those. Okay. hopefully everybody's doing well. I'm glad to see you guys here, spending your Tuesday evening with me. Hello, Super Y. So this particular truck is for a person. Cody did his comic book. I don't know what you want to call it. It was like he was selling his comic book and he was promoting it. And for that, he also was selling his helmet and fire suit from last year's season. And so he added the tier for the fire suit. Whoever bought that, we decided to work together and they would get a chrome Timcast truck. And then here, I can just reach across here 1 second and get this. And then whoever bought the helmet, they're going to get his chrome Timcast ARCA car. So this was from Daytona that he raced a couple months ago. But then, yeah, he did have the book, like the individual books, and there were 50 of them. And so I'm working on the 164s. So that's all I plan on making. I'm just one person. It's not like I have a whole factory or whatever. So what you see here is the whole process. I wanted to share it with everybody and interact with everyone. So yeah, there were 50 people that purchased the tier for the book, for the 164 cars, the small ones. And then there were just 2 people that purchased the helmet tier and the fire suit tier. And they get these special chrome cars. I can grab the 164 here in a second if you're interested. But yeah, I don't plan on making any more. It's a long process. I realized after signing up for it, I was in for quite the journey, let's say. So it's taken me a while. It's a lot of work. Got a lot of other life things going on at the moment, so it's hard to break in and find time when to work on these things and when to go live. I don't know if you guys have noticed my live streaming schedule has been sporadic at best. So yeah, it's been sort of chaotic, but once I get these 2 done, the plan is to really hit the 50 164s for the 50 book tiers. I have 1 done. I'll go grab that in a second and show you. Because also for that, we're doing the full box as well. So custom box, custom car. I don't know why I signed up for it. But it'll be good once it's all done. It'll be really cool. So here, let me go. I can go grab that really quick. I should just keep it by my desk, because every time I stream I get questions about them. So yeah, here's the 164 car. Let me just clip this back on here. So fully customized box. This is not the final product. It'll have a glossy shine to it. This is a matte finish. But yeah, here's the car. So it's the ARCA car that we agreed on for the tier, for the 50 for the book. So I have 50 cars sitting over there, waiting to be worked on, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's been going through it here the past couple days with this whole controversy about the event. I don't really need to talk about it. It's more his thing. So yeah, but I'm happy to help. You know, he's been nothing but nice to me regarding all the stuff we've worked on together. Whether it's getting the decals, getting the the graphics for these cars, or You know, I met him at Mid-Ohio last year. Mid-Ohio and Michigan last year, and it was really cool to get to spend time with him. So if you guys get a chance to go out to the track, I don't know how different it is with the truck series, because last year when I went out there, it was with the ARCA series. But it was really cool. You get to hang out with the team, you get to hang out with Cody, you get to hang out, you know, kind of behind the scenes at the race, which as a NASCAR fan my entire life, pretty much, since about 2004, it's really cool to finally be a little bit on the other side. So I went to school for mechanical engineering in hopes that I could one day get into NASCAR, and that did not happen. So this is kind of a little bit of a way into it, somewhat, and I like it. I don't think I'm quite cut out for, well, one, moving to North Carolina, where all the teams are pretty much at, and then two, being on the road for, I don't know, 30 weekends a year, depending upon which series you're in. So, yeah, having all of our family up here, and it's just, I don't think it would be a fit for me anymore. But yeah, so it's been cool to work with Cody and get to know a few people inside the industry, and yeah, it's been a fun time. So while we're waiting for those other decals to finish, this is the box I designed for the 124s. Now this is for the ARCA car, but the truck series box is basically the same, just with the truck series stuff on it. So it'll have the truck here and then the truck series logo here, but it's a window die-cast box, so you'll be able to see the car through there. And then it was, let's see, it's kind of, whoa, it's the Ride and Die exclusive, so that was the comic book cover, and then this is just my logo and stuff on here, because I mean, I don't like taking credit, but I have to give myself a little bit of credit. For the ARCA series, these were his associate sponsors up at the top here, so I added all that. For the truck series, he has quite a bit more, so I added more onto that. And then this one's for Sean, and it's Ride and Die exclusive. That's the team that he raced for, Fast Track. And then on the back, I wrote a little thing about him. So it's pretty neat. I get to do a little bit of graphic designing, a little bit of customization, which I've never done before. So like I said, it's been a cool journey, and I like it. I like being on this side. It's different than what I thought I would be doing, but it's been fun nonetheless. I'm also making some cars, or I have made a few cars for a crew member in on one of the Ryan Sieg Racing teams in the Xfinity series, so that's pretty cool. I actually just shipped him his car today, or he should have gotten it today. Video will be out I'm planning on getting that video out Friday. MIB feel. The only thing I can think of for MIB is Men in Black, which is a great movie series, but Mint in Box, maybe? Mint in Box? That would be the other guess that I would have. But yeah, it's cool. Like Michael Marutz, Murph, a couple other YouTubers along the way. Mint in Box. Okay, that's what I thought. It was either that or Men in Black, and I wasn't sure how Men in Black was going to really tie into this. But yeah, you're right. I kind of like this better. It'll be interesting to see once I print it on the stiffer paper, the cardstock, how it holds up. It should be okay. But yeah, I kind of like doing it that way better than having it just be a sticker that I put over top of it, because it was a nightmare trying to get the stickers to align properly, and it was kind of a headache. So I think I'm going to like this better. Now I only have to make 2 of these boxes, so it's not like I have to have an insane amount of repeatability. Now the 164s is a different. Here, we can put that up there. Yeah, these 164 is a little bit different story with these boxes. We have to have repeatability for those, and like I said, there's 50 of them, so each of them will be individually numbered, 1 of 50, 2 of 50, and so on. And each person that made the purchase will have their name specifically on their box. So again, it's trying to do the best work that I can, because my name is going to be on it in a sense. You know, with the die-cast driven brand, I guess you could call it. I don't really think of it like that. There's just kind of a name I came up with and nobody else seemed to have. Because that's, I mean, I guess the backstory is I've been collecting cars since I started watching racing back in 2004, probably even before then. And that is sort of what drove me to like NASCAR and want to be involved in it. So calling my channel Die-Cast Driven is pretty on the nose. And that's really the thing that's been keeping me around NASCAR for the past couple years. Once Jeff Gordon retired in 2015, I didn't really care too much. But the diecast have kind of kept me around, and now knowing a few people, like I said, inside the industry, it's brought me back into it a little bit more than I have been lately. You collect toys. I love seeing kit bashes and customs. Yeah, so I've been, like I said, I've been making customs since 2011, starting with the 164s. In 2010, Lionel Racing purchased Action Racing Collectibles, and they were the ones that made most of the diecast. And so when Lionel took over, I thought that was a pretty cool thing, because they are the same company that produces Lionel trains. So I figured it would kind of expand to the industry and add detail and take off, and it kind of did. It's gone downhill a little bit since then, because they've also kind of monopolized the industry. There used to be Team Caliber and Racing Champions and, well, Action and Motorsports Authentics. They all would make NASCARs. And so you'd get a little bit of variety in like the body shapes of the vehicles and stuff, and you know what the interior would look like, and if they had rubber tires or plastic tires or metal chassis or plastic chassis. So there was a little bit more variation, and I didn't love that, because I'm kind of well, as you can see, I'm kind of very picky about things. So, and I have a lot of, I pay attention to detail. So having Lionel purchase and kind of monopolize back then, I thought it was a great idea, because then all the cars were going to look the same. Now looking back in the long run, kind of wasn't the best for the diecast industry, considering now they can just like raise prices to crazy amounts, and well, if you're not going to pay it, then you're not going to get the car, because they're the only ones that make the car. Or if Lionel says they're not producing it, you have to turn to customs, because if they don't produce it, nobody will. But yeah, so 2011 was the first year that I really tried to commit to getting every single car that was made in the 164 scale. And of course, they didn't make all of them, so I had to resort to making some of my own, and that was what kind of kick-started my whole custom career, I suppose. And it was mainly just for filling gaps for my collection. But then I found out that other people wanted cars, so I used to make so many cars, 164s, and then eventually I moved up into 124, which is this scale, the bigger scale. And people pay a lot of money for stuff like this, because it's one of one. Like, nobody will ever have another chrome Cody Dennison ARCA Daytona 5 or Daytona car, or this particular truck is his Martinsville debut. So this is, I guess, a piece of history, if you want to call it that. But definitely unique. And again, it's not perfect. I mean, up on a shelf, it'll look pretty good compared to the other ones. I do clear these once I'm done with an automotive clear, a 2-part, to keep the shine over time and protect everything underneath. Yeah, exactly. You're like spot on. The detail that is in these newer cars is quite a bit less. I don't have any other ones sitting next to me at the moment. I would have to go kind of far away to get one, but like this car here, see, it has the roof flaps that open up, the trunk that opens up, and the hood also. Well, the hood also opens up. And this was from, it's a 2015 body. And now the cheaper, and this was like the lowest quality car back then. Nowadays, this car is kind of the highest quality that you'll get from Lionel, with the hood, the roof flaps, and the trunk opening, and it has a metal chassis. The new cars, they have a plastic chassis, the cheapest version. So I guess going back really quick to, so this is the car that I have that's kind of close. So you can kind of see it. Yeah, let's do this. You can kind of see here, 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 and here underneath the hood, and then underneath the trunk, similar spots right there. They would have tethers that attach to the chassis of the car, just like the real ones. So, you know, when they crash and the hood flies off, it doesn't fly into the stands. It stays pretty close to the car. And same thing with the rear deck lid and whatnot. That was the Elite version, and it had a little bit more detail. So the Arc was this one, and the Elite was the other one with the more detail. And this one ran you about like $65, and the Elite was, I think, around $100-ish. Now, with less detail, the Elites are, what is an Elite? Like 120, I want to say, and the Arc is up to 80. So, to your point, no competition, laziness, and to be honest, and there are a lot of cars that don't get produced because people aren't buying them, and I don't know, it feels like to me that the diecast NASCAR world is kind of in a bad place right now. And then they just raised the prices on everything again. So yeah, they need some sort of competition. I have no idea like what the contract situation looks like, if Lionel has a lifetime contract with NASCAR or something ridiculous, or if it's needing to be renewed, but I don't even really know who makes diecast cars anymore. I'm not entirely familiar. But another interesting wrinkle in the story of that is that the modern cars, they don't even have metal chassis or metal bodies that are like the diecast metal is what these are, these bodies. The real cars are resin, pretty much. I mean, I want to say they're carbon. Well, I know for a fact, like the nose and the hood and the deck lid and the back trunk for the Cup cars are carbon fiber. And then I don't know about the side panels. They might be like fiberglass or something, but they're not metal. So having a diecast as a collectible isn't necessarily as representative of the real cars as you would think. Now, there are some people out there that do 3D resin printing of bodies, and to be honest, that's more accurate because, you know, they're not metal bodies on the real cars. So that's something that is interesting to me. I do like the 3D printed resin bodies because you can do a lot more with a lot less. Tooling for die casting metals is not cheap. And 3D printing, I mean, comparatively, is pretty cheap. I mean, you can get a good resin printer, and then you don't have to change the molds. You just print it out and sand it down. And so I don't know if, I mean, that could be something Lionel could look into, but they're gonna have to evolve. I can't imagine they don't, but they're going to have to at some point. Because like I said, it's not sustainable, the current rate that they're going. So it is a shame for the diecast industry. But the whole point of my channel is to kind of, well, originally it's to video document my collection, because I don't really have like a good documentation of all of my cars, which is a lot. And so I bought a little turntable, and if you guys have seen the videos, I mean, that's pretty much, I'll just talk about the car. The thing will rotate. It'll be a good way to video document everything, and it's up on, you know, YouTube servers or whatever, so it's out there. Growing up in the 80s, diecast holds a special place. Yeah, I don't collect Hot Wheels, but I have some. I know there are some people out there that have like insane Hot Wheel collections, and those are really cool. But I do know Johnny Lightning's another brand. But yeah, Lionel's never going to evolve. Yeah, Braden, that's kind of already happened. I mean, I don't know how far the regression will go, to your point. To be honest, I don't know how much further they can go backwards. I mean, I don't know if you're privy to all of the pre-orders and how that whole system works and the DNPs and all that, but they have not produced quite a few cars lately. A lot of DNPs, and not because of licensing issues. Now that's always one thing that you got to be careful with, is licensing. And there was a story about something from a long time ago, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't think Lionel's going to evolve anymore. They probably will devolve, if anything, or continue to do so, which is a shame, because I think they have, obviously they have the capability to do well, and honestly the people there are pretty nice. Like, if you've ever talked to the customer service people, they're always very helpful. And same thing with like I guess I won't name anybody by name, but we would always used to go down for the event in Charlotte. They would do a members event for RCCA, the elite members, and we did that for probably at least 3 or 4 years, and they don't do that anymore. I think COVID kind of screwed that up, like pretty much everything. But yeah, I don't know, it's disappointing, but I mean, that's kind of everything these days. Everything's pretty disappointing. Yes, I agree. Like, I used to make just regular models, plastic glue together kits, snap together kits, and I never liked them exactly because of your point. Like, when you'd pick it up, it just felt light. It didn't feel like a car. I know it's kind of weird to say because it's just a model. It's only this big, right? But something about picking up something heavy, it just, it's kind of like that that line in Jurassic Park when they're in the back of the Jeep looking for the flashlights, or was it the flashlights or I think it was the night vision goggles. And they're like, "Is it heavy?" And he's like, "Uh-huh." He's like, "It's probably expensive. Put it down." Like, that's what I feel about with like these cars is, yeah, they're heavy. They have some weight to them, so it feels more expensive. It feels like it's, you know, important. And then, you know, with Lionel making them on plastic chassis now, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't have the same feel, of course, from a weight perspective, but also it's just, it cheapens the product as well. Granted, I will say, and this truck has a plastic chassis on it too. So if you notice, like, this car was from 2015. It's got the trunk, roof flaps, the hood all open up. This truck is from 2024, 25. Nothing opens on it. No hood, the trunk, and there's one roof flap here. Doesn't open. And the chassis is plastic. The only thing that ever used to open on the trucks was the hood, and that didn't happen too often. There were only a couple years way back, like the early 2000s, I want to say, that had opening hoods. But yeah, I don't know. I guess just collecting's not as big as it once was, and to put the money in is not justified, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty sad, kind of the state of that particular industry. Also, another thing that's interesting is these jack cutouts that are on the sides of, like, you can see it right there. They never match what the real vehicles have, so you're always kind of guessing with, do I want to put the jack arrow above the cutout, or do I want to put the jack arrow in the middle of the side skirt, typically where they are in the real cars or trucks. This one, I mean, but again, it doesn't really matter that much. It would for a raced version, if you're going to put all the time and effort into adding all of the tire marks and rivets and everything that you're going to do to add all the detail you can. Yeah, I would suppose it'd make a little bit of a difference, but I don't know. For this particular car, whoever gets it probably won't even notice if they're not watching the stream. Because believe it or not, it's very difficult to find pictures of this online. I had a dickens of a time trying to get reference pictures. Now, for the other cars I've done for Cody, I've had him send me some, but I don't think he ever sent me any ones from the truck debut. I imagined it was pretty chaotic, making his truck series debut. So there's probably a lot of pomp and circumstance, a lot of things going on. But with that, we're down to 4 decals left for this thing. And for this one, I don't have to put any decals on the tires. So the Craftsman Truck Series runs Goodyears, whereas the ARCA Series ran the General tires. So for this diecast, I did have to scrape off the Goodyear and put the General on there. Same thing with the spoiler. For the Cup Series, they just ran a black spoiler, and the Menards Series, they have Menards and General tires on the back of the spoiler. So more customization there. Windshield customized on both. The truck will get customized windshield. I'm just going to do that off stream because, yeah, it's not that interesting. Not as interesting as doing the whole body of the truck. This, speaking of interesting, this is kind of cool. It's the triple truck challenge. So everybody who starts the race has the opportunity to win $1 million or $100,000 or some amount of money if they win three of the races or something, or maybe they win $100,000 per race, whatever it is. So it's kind of neat that every single competitor has this on their spoiler. Let's see, third party would have a hard time with Transformers. It's leaving of the faction symbols. For this, it's all the brands on the cars. Third party would have a hard time with Transformers. It's leaving of the faction symbols. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I mean, you're in the toy world. I'm not. The only thing I can say about the Transformers is in 2009, excuse me, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Ryan Newman all ran a different, but they all ran Transformers paint schemes. And well, it was Action Racing Collectibles back then. They wouldn't make it because I'm pretty sure it was a licensing thing. So those are only available via the custom route. I don't know if that's like a Transformers thing across the board or if it was just specific for NASCAR. I mean, what you're saying is kind of leads me to believe that it's a common thing, but either way, yeah. So that's one of the most sought after Jeff Gordon cars, is the Transformers one, because it was never actually made. I do have it somewhere in my collection. It'll be a while before I get to that one in my collection videos, because it's kind of neat. I do like it. My plan was just to do collection videos all the way from the cars that I have now to the cars at the beginning. But with making these customs, doing live streams, doing the D'Agostini car, it's been fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of broken up my collection, I guess, order a little bit. So if you guys have been paying attention to the latest videos and stuff, it's pretty much been all special finishes. That'll come to an end pretty soon. I already have an idea of what I want to do next. One of the cars just came in. It was a Prelude to the Dream late model car that Jeff Gordon ran in 2010. Maybe it was 2009. Pretty much the final car that I needed of the 4. There are a few non-official groups that make Transformer toys. They get around IP by not calling on the toy. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's always frustrating, the IP stuff. I mean, I get it. I get why it's done, because you can't just have people making, whatever. And sometimes you could make, inappropriate things or bad things with an IP, like like the Winnie the Pooh movie, like the Blood and Honey or whatever that was, after it went into the public domain. So I kind of understand IP and how it needs to be protected. But for stuff like this, I mean, it's a hobby, and it's not, I don't know. You would think that you would want to make as much as you can and have as much as you want and as much as you can out there so that people can enjoy whatever it is, and then share and interact with others and, all that kind of stuff. So to me, I never understood why, they wouldn't want some of the cars to be made, and they wouldn't want some of the images and likenesses to be. I mean, these things are driving billboards. This is like, and then now I do understand a little bit the alcohol cars, like you don't want to sell those to kids, but I mean, I was a kid back in 2004, and I knew what Budweiser was, and I wanted the Dale Jr. Budweiser car. Didn't mean I was gonna go drink Budweiser after the race or watching the race. It meant I just wanted to have all 43 cars lined up, and the Budweiser car, the Miller Lite car, they were part of it. So yeah, the whole IP thing, it's weird, but I sort of understand it. I do sort of get it. So it's a weird world with all that. Of course, well, we don't even get into like real automotive brands, and you see like the cheap Chinese knockoffs of like the exact same car pretty much. But yeah, I knew this stream wasn't going to be too long of a stream. It's been about an hour, and I mean that's pretty much it. We'll just scrape the. So for this spoiler, it's going to be 2 pieces, and then I just kind of take the top of it with a Sharpie and fill that in. But yeah, it's a short one tonight. I don't know when I'll go live next. I do have another car that I'm going to be working on. I do have the Cletus McFarlane one that I'm making for a buddy. If you guys know anything about Cletus, that's another one that's pretty weird that Lionel hasn't made yet. They'd make a lot of money with it. I have a feeling they'll get to it eventually, but yeah, decals were available, so I grabbed those and making that for a buddy of mine. Apparently his friend is like a huge Cletus fan, so he really wanted that car. I think he's gonna surprise him or something. But yeah. Oh, well, getting back to the other car. So it's 2017 Casey Kane Mountain Dew. I think he raced it in the All-Star race. Number 5. It was that white one that I showed you. I'll show you guys in a second. But yeah, this pretty much concludes it. I'm thinking, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go live when I do the 164s. The difficult thing about these is it's a full wrap, and so getting it to contour, and I have to do a lot of weird things with cutting the decals and putting them in really strange positions, and also using the heat gun to get them to contour to the body of the car. So I'm not really sure if I'm gonna live stream these. I might, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, but that is the ARCA car for the Ride and Die 164s. So if you guys purchase that, this will be what you're getting eventually. So that's really cool. A lot of work went into those. This is the 124, one of one ARCA Daytona car. And then that pretty much concludes Cody's Truck Series debut Chrome Timcast Ford. I do have to put one more decal on this back spoiler. So the spoiler is black on the car. As you can see, the front of it is black. So I have to do the same thing for the back, but I have to use the heat gun to get it to contour to it nicely. So I'll do that off stream. You guys don't want to hear the sound of the heat gun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So more than likely, the next stream that I do, let me just wipe this off really quick. You know what? I'll just flip it over. Tape and edit if you have. You could tape. So to that point, yeah, my plan is to do a big video at the end of all of them, to kind of show the whole process. And I don't know if I'll do all 50 of them like that, but I definitely am going to do a few. I did get a few videos of me sandblasting the cars, so I'll probably add that into the video. But yeah, so this is the car that I will be. I'll probably go live maybe later this week or next week or something. I haven't decided yet, but so this is the car that's coming up next. It's a 2017 Casey Kane Elite. So it has those tethers, so it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt for me to put it together and everything, but here, I can get these decals. I already started cutting them out. It's a really cool car. There's been a guy in the Lionel forum bugging them for years, since about 2017 when this car ran on track. He's like, Lionel, when are you gonna make this car? When are you gonna make this car? When are you gonna make this car? And they haven't, clearly. So I have decided to make it. 1, because it's cool. 2, because probably sell it to him and I'm sure he'll love it. But yeah, so I already cut out all these decals. And then, yeah, so there's what will be on the hood, the roof, the back deck lid, and the nose. So this will probably be next stream. I'm thinking, I don't know, I'll have to look at my schedule and see, but maybe later this week, maybe over the weekend, not entirely sure. But this one should be a relatively simple build too. I mean, as you guys can see, there's not a ton in the decals, just a few down the side, and you know, a couple going up the rear quarter panel and stuff, a few on the nose. Not that involved of a car. So it really shouldn't take too long to make. But it'll look really good when it's done. So yeah, I think that'll be it for today. And then obviously the roof flaps. I'll save that for last because I have seen some custom cars out there where they don't even cut out the roof flaps, and that's a crazy thing. Some people don't even cut, like if the decal goes over the hood and onto the fender, some people won't even cut that out so the hood will open back up. Like, it's really crazy some of the customs that people make, and the care that they don't put into them. That's definitely not me, as you guys have seen this process play out. So yeah, we're just over an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you had a good weekend, and I think that's gonna do it. Relatively short one. I'm happy that you guys were able to join and have some cool conversations. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks again, everybody.